Hello and welcome to Esoteric Discussions with me, your host, Valentine St. Aubin, a show where we go deep down into the rabbit hole. You can catch me every other Wednesday evening from 9 here on Peterborough FM and online, and if you want to learn more about me, please visit my website at valentinesaintaubin.co.uk. So, today is the 27th of February 2013. And, well, all sorts is going on, and I'm going to try to cover just a bit of it tonight. There's been so much happening, however, that I'm not going to be able to fit this into my short intro that I am going to give. But hopefully in the next couple of weeks we can look at some of these issues as the show is kicking off before the guest gets on air. Tonight I'm joined by my lovely guest, Tashara Forrest, who is also known as Sharon Angelica, and she's been a guest previously on my show, and I'm very, very happy to have her back. It's always nice to be able to have a guest that's been on the show previously come back, because we always get to learn new things about them. So we're going to be catching up with her and finding out what she's been up to. And she's also brought a guest with her as well, and his name is Joseph Chaganiza. Hopefully I didn't mess your name up too badly, Joseph. If you don't know, Sharon Angelica, aka Tashara, is a musician, and we're going to be playing some music tonight. It's going to be a very laid-back esoteric discussions tonight. We're going to be playing a bit of music and also having a nice one-to-one intimate conversation with the two of them about their journey as to where they are on their life path, and how life has been treating them and what they've been through. And, you know, we like to talk about these types of things here on the show. Esoteric Discussions is a show where we explore the metaphysical and the hidden and unseen. I like to delve into consciousness and ideas of the world around ourselves, but I also like to discuss things about the social and the political side of life, but with a reflection within oneself. So, you know, that's the kind of thing that I like to do here. So if you've stumbled across my show by accident, well, I will have to say this: there are no accidents in life. Right, so let's get on with things. Before I begin, let me give you Sharon Angelica's website. It's www.sharonangelicamusic.com. That's sharonangelicamusic.com. And you can also check out Joseph's website as well, Joseph Chaganiza, that's CHAGANIZA.com. And you can check them out while I'm having a chat and get familiar with what they do. So we've just come through a full moon. We're still in the midst of it. It was exactly full on the 25th of February in Virgo, I believe. And the moon's now moved into Libra, lovable, sociable Libra. So, it's been a very intense year so far. I don't know about you, but time has been moving extremely fast. And the interesting thing here is it's not necessarily that time is moving fast, because outside time and space, time doesn't exist. Time is a construct for us humans and for us living here on Earth. But I would say internally we are being accelerated. So that makes everything appear to be moving quite quickly in our world. And there has been quite a quickening of events since the beginning of this year. And I'm just going to rattle off a couple of them because there has been so many. Of course, I have to mention that the Pope resigned. This is unprecedented, and it's the first time this has happened in 600 years. A lot can be said about what's going on there, but I don't have enough time to go into what's going on with the Pope and why. But I can honestly say, it's not because he's old and he's using a heart pacer or whatever the argument was that I heard on the news. It's got nothing to do with that. The Vatican has its own timeline that they're working towards, and they're up to all sorts of things. So that's that's going to be played out on the world stage in the next coming few months and years. So, keep your eyes very well peeled on the Vatican. There's going to be all sorts of things going on there. And I just have to throw this in because I am a fan. I don't know if any of you have been watching The Borgias. In the UK, it's on Sky Atlantic. I believe in America, it's on Showtime. I'm not sure about in other places. And The Borgias is about one of the popes during the late 1490s, Pope Alexander VI, and his family. And it is required viewing. If you want to get any idea of what the Vatican actually is, you must watch that show. So we had the Pope resigning, and then a couple of hours later we had lightning strike, didn't we, after his announcement, which was quite eerie. So that fits quite nicely with the signs in the sky. So that was quite overwhelming. And the other thing that has reared its ugly head is the death of Aaron Swartz, who was found dead hanging at the age of 26. Now, I did a dedication to Aaron Swartz in my last show, but if you don't know who he was a renegade, let's put it that way. He was one of the architects of what we know as RSS feed. And he created that, he created the code and what have you when he was about 13, 14 years old. He went on to help co-found Reddit as well. And he did a lot of political activism in terms of freedom of speech on the internet. And he was one of the pioneers who helped to stop the SOPA. Which is an online bill, basically, that the government in America and in Europe as well, they have been trying under many disguises to bring this bill in to snoop on us, to read our emails, to restrict the use of free information, all sorts of things, which are very important for you to know about. So if you're thinking, well, what does that have to do with me? Well, it has everything to do with you, because we now live on the internet. We are connected. This is part of where we are with the age of Aquarius. Aquarius is very revolutionary in terms of technology, and everything is online. That means tweets, emails, internet, YouTube. This is how we communicate with each other. So it's hugely important. And, the upper echelons, they are well aware that we can actually talk with ourselves without an intermediary, which is scary for them, because that means they can no longer control our press and control what we're going to believe in or think. So it has great ramifications. So Aaron was one of the leaders who managed to stop this bill in America. And he did a few other things as well. He was quite a threat, and there's quite a story when you start digging around as to his death. But he hadn't actually went on trial. He didn't get to have his trial. His trial was due in April, but the government was just throwing everything at him, and he would have been looking at his whole life spent behind bars. So that was quite a shock, and he was found dead on the 11th of January 2013. And the thing about Aaron is that he is a Scorpio, and we are currently going through the phase of Saturn, the planet Saturn, moving through Scorpio. So many people who are Scorpios, Scorpio Sun, Scorpio Moon, Scorpio Ascendant, rising sign, you guys are having a very difficult time, because Saturn is quite restrictive, and he's known as the taskmaster. He's known as the father of time, and he can make life be very, very serious. And it depends on how your chart is actually constructed as to how it kicks things off for you. Now, another Scorpio who has found himself in a bit of a bother is Oscar Pistorius. He is also a Scorpio. He's actually born the same year as Aaron Swartz, in 1986. And they are what I would call the Pluto in Scorpio generation, those that were born from 1983 to 1995. Now, just in a nutshell, Scorpio, basically what Scorpio rules is power issues, control, and loss. And you can have great highs and you can have great lows. And we see the great high with Aaron Swartz, with his using all of that scorpionic energy that he had, that great effort to concentrate and try to change the world. And then we see Oscar Pistorius, who was also a Scorpio, but had quite he was known to have quite a competitive streak inside of him. You know, when he lost his title at the Paralympics in 2012, he wasn't quite happy, was he? And he did make quite a fuss. Now he has found himself in trouble, and we still are waiting to find out the facts as to what has happened, but his girlfriend has been found murdered. And it's not really surprising, because Scorpios are really on the radar at the moment, and there will be those who get caught in the crossfire for negative, and there are going to be those that are going to excel during this period. But definitely those who are born right around now, with Pluto where it's stationed in their natal charts, are really feeling the pressure of Saturn sitting right on that planet, and some very, very heavy duty karmic lessons coming through, and we can really see that between the two of them. So if you are a Scorpio, or if you know that you might have a Scorpio moon or ascendant, yes, there is quite a lot going on, and you're not going crazy. And I would just say to take a breath and try to relax, because these things do pass, as they say. I know it's so cliche, isn't it? But they do. And talking about all these types of things, because there has been so much going on, people aren't sleeping very well. People, and this has been going on for quite a few years, people are very ill. I was given some bad news at the beginning of the year. A very old friend of mine, who I've known for many years, found out that he has throat cancer. He thought he had laryngitis, but he has soon discovered that he has throat cancer and is fighting for his life. And there's a lot of that going on. A lot of people facing death, a lot of people experiencing death. I think I have experienced one death a year since 2007. And this is all part of where we are on the timeline. We have crossed over from 2012, which was a very important marker. And there are a lot of people leaving this planet right now. There are a lot of us staying, but there are a lot of us leaving, and those who are staying, we have had our moments where we're not feeling very well. It comes in cycles. I had my experience quite a few years ago now, and I had to completely realign my life, change a lot of things, and a lot of people are finding that they're having to do that themselves. And I have to just share this because it's so funny. I was on a route that I use quite regularly. I was driving, and I noticed a speed camera had been burnt to cinders. It was the funniest thing. I don't think I've actually ever seen anything like that. I mean, a speed camera is pretty heavy. It's made of, I guess, steel. I'm not sure how you can burn it, but it was completely torched. And it was torched because people are being pushed too far with fines and demanding of payment. And the way that it works in this country is if you are caught out speeding, they like to use blackmail against you. So they'll say, okay, well, we can put these points on your license, or you can go take a course for like £80 and take the points off. So people are really being pushed to their limit right now, and there is a lot of that. And as I have to say, and I have to always be realistic, it is not getting any better anytime soon. In fact, we are now walking into the bottleneck of it all, because we have Pluto in Capricorn, which is why we are having so many issues with our economies and also with our structures. The latest scandal, horse meat scandal, how we eat, who we trust to buy our food from, the structures of distribution of food. We're seeing the corruption. All these things are now being exposed, and this is all part of where we are. We're coming into a time where there are no more secrets. I don't really like that word revealing, but we are coming into the years of the revealing that have been talked about by so many different groups along the way. So there is a lot going on, and just to add to the growing list of things that have happened in the last few weeks, and then we had the meteor, didn't we, over Russia, which didn't just break up by itself. They actually exploded it, because if that would have hit at the speed and the width that it was coming into, that would have really been that would have been quite devastating for that area. So they blew that out of the sky. So there are lots of things falling from the sky. We've talked about this in past shows. There's a lot of debris falling, and there's reasons for that. Do your research, and maybe you might get your own answers. Some say it could be because of Planet X and the tail, that it's pulling along all this debris, and that's why we're getting a lot of things falling from the sky. Nevertheless, there is a lot going on. So what I would like to do tonight is to channel all of that and put it into something positive. And I want to show you how holding on to a dream can get you somewhere by even if you've been through the hardest the hardest time in your life, there is hope on the other side. And just because the economy is bad, just because money is short, it doesn't mean that you can't keep dreaming, and it doesn't mean that you can't keep trying for what you want to do in life. And I'm a living example. I'm doing what I love to do, and both of my guests tonight are doing what they love to do. So it can be done. It's not easy, but it can be done. So we're going to take a break, and to get our appetite going, this is a song by Joseph Chaganiza, and it's called Keep On Trying. And I'm going to get them on the air, so sit back and relax.
Keep on, yeah, press the no. Keep on, I got your back, sister. I got your back, man. I got your back, yeah. I got your back. Looking lost, tall can in the hand. First thing in the morning, no excuse, but I feel his pain. Cup in the air, begging for change, asking for his daily bread, and only God knows the stress which came upon his head. That one thing that drove and pushed him to the edge, nearly leaving him for dead. I listened as he spoke, and I heard him say he never quite imagined this was the way that life would play, until that one day that he got wind of some news that he really didn't want to hear. Pain so great, enough to make a man want to slash up an ear like Vincent Van Gogh. I felt his sorrow and shed a tear, if not two, and this is what I said to him. Keep on keeping on. Yeah, press the no. Keep on keeping on. Keep pushing on. It's not easy, son, I'm just letting you know. Better off with the devil, you know? I don't think so. Betrayal by the ones you love, most painful. It's like a knife to the back that sinks to the heart real slow. And even after all said and done, your enemies, you still have to love them so. A lesson in life, so I take heed in order to grow in this river that we call life. I flow diametric like wild salmon against an abrasive current. You just have to keep it moving, never looking back, forever stay fighting, never giving up. So I keep on trying. Keep on keeping on. Yeah, press the no. Keep on keeping on. It's not easy. Keep pushing on. Cause if at first you don't succeed, don't give up and leave. Don't give up and leave. Don't give up and leave. Cause if at first you don't succeed, don't give up and leave. Don't give up and leave. Don't give up and leave. Keep on, keep it on. Keep on keeping on. Just keep on pressing on. Keep pressing on. When things not okay, keep keeping on. Keep on keeping on. When it's just not your day, keep pushing on. Keep pushing on. far from impressed for what it's worth. This life on earth, yesterday was the rain, today made the pain, but tomorrow there'll be gain. Keep on trying.
Right, so that was Keep On Trying by Joseph Chaganiza, and it sounded like Tashara Forrest in the background there, but we'll get verification in just a sec. If you want to contact the studio, you can send an email to studio@peterborough.fm, and you can interact with the show live. You can always send me an email as well when I'm not online, in case you might have a question, and I can read it out online for you. So that is how you can interact with the show here tonight. But I'm going to bring my guests on tonight. Joseph and Tashara, are you there?
Hey.
Hi, welcome. Excellent. Right, so welcome to the show, guys. It's a live show, as of course, and with a live show, we do get technical difficulties here and there. So, let's get going. Joseph, hello, welcome.
Greetings, how are you doing, Valentine?
Yes, I'm doing very well. And Tashara, how are you?
Hi, I'm great. How are you?
Welcome back to the show. Thank you for joining me again. So let's just get going with this. You two are working together musically, and we just listened to a track of yours, Joseph, Keep On Trying. Why don't you tell us a bit about the motivation for that song?
Well, Keep On Trying, just a song that was written like you're just talking about like making the most of a bad situation, and pretty much it's like a moment in time in my life where I was going through something at that time. And it so happens I just like I kind of lost the passion to write at that moment in time, until one of my friends who actually is who I work with, who produced the song, rang me up like late in the evening, and he said, "Oh, I got this instrumental. I just made this, and I was thinking about you." And I was like, "Oh yeah, okay, just email it through. I'll have a listen and see if I can do something." Like very unenthused, basically. Then I heard the instrumental, and it actually got me out of bed, and I started writing to it right then and then. So yeah, it was just one of those instrumentals I heard, and it just got me up, and I just got the concept like that, just keep on trying, basically. And and that was it, basically. That's where the motivation came from. So
do you find it easy to create music? Does it come to you quite naturally?
Yeah, most of the time. I mean, it comes. I've learned one thing. It sometimes just comes at random places. The most awkward of times, like in the middle of like a shift at work, and it's like very inconvenient. But I've learned to just like pause and like let it come out if it's something to write. And yeah, because I've learned that when it comes out like that and I try to suppress it, when I want it to come out naturally, it doesn't. So I've learned to just let it flow whenever I feel the urge to just write something. So yeah, I guess it comes naturally, basically, but it chooses when it wants to come out sometimes by itself.
Yeah, definitely. And I that is the creative spirit, and and I would also just maybe add that it also depends on what you are going through in life as well, as to what comes out, and as you were saying with that song Keep On Trying, you were going through a few things. I mean, people are always going through things. This is the myth, isn't it? We are not always happy all the time. Life is an accumulation of experiences and difficulties, ups and downs, and sometimes the ups are more up and sometimes the down is more down, isn't it?
That's correct.
And that can also help to motivate the creative spirit. So also let's just get Tashara on the mic as well, so she's not so we can say hello to her as well. How have you been since I last saw you? You were on the show about a year ago, weren't you?
Yeah, I've been really well and very, very busy. It's been like a marathon of a year. I've just done so much. But it's all good stuff. It's been really tough at times, but I'm just feel really blessed that I'm getting to do what I want to do, and what I just feel is like within me, that is who I am, and able to do that on a daily basis. So I've been songwriting with like different producers and songwriters, and performing. I just did a live some tour dates with Soul to Soul at the Islington in December. I've just been performing at the O2 with an up and coming band who just won a UK open mic final. And I'm working on my debut single, Take It Easy. And a few other songs I'll be recording next to that, which should form my EP. I just finished a course, a songwriting diploma, which I just felt like I wanted to do to one, network with other songwriters, and also just develop myself a bit further, because I'm quite a natural creative and it just comes out, but I felt like I needed to do a course to sort of say yes, I'm a songwriter. But I think you're a songwriter if you're a songwriter. A course doesn't make you a songwriter, it's in you. And
well, I think any kind of formal training has its plus side.
Oh yeah, of course, and that's why I did it. It's not like I'm rubbishing it or anything.
Yeah, I doubt that.
It was worthwhile, and I love it, and I've got really great lifelong friends now from the course that I did, and it really just gave me that time to develop what was within me, and have that, be in that creative space and nurture it and sit in it, and let it come out, and just have that time. And it was such a turning point for me. It's a time that has been quite difficult.
Well, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. But before we get there, I just wanted to just repeat, because you were sharing so wonderfully all the things that you've been doing. But in case the listeners missed that, Sharon, and you work with two names, don't you? You work with Sharon Angelica, and but your real name is Tashara Forrest.
Yeah, Tashara Forrest. I'll be releasing my solo music as Tashara Forrest, but I've been featuring on other on music that I've been featuring on, like Joseph Chaganiza's one, as Tashara Sharon Angelica. They're all my names, by the way. Tashara Sharon Angelica Forrest is my full name, but I just like to toy between the two every now and again.
It's part of the creative process, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's quite weird, and I'm not trying to say I've got multi-personalities or anything. It's nice to be able to, I don't know, wear the hat of Sharon Angelica, and it sort of brings out another side of me. You see, I do sound a bit like I've got multi-personalities now, but I haven't. It's just, we all have different sides to us.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's quite standard practice in the artistic world to use different names, and sometimes you want their anonymity, and sometimes you don't mind if people know you as the real you as well. It's all part of that theatre, isn't it? But what I wanted to just to say was that Tashara had been performing with Soul to Soul, so just in case you missed that when she said it, that is a great achievement in itself, because you were spotted, weren't you, online?
Yeah, I had a music profile up, and the backing vocal manager found me online and invited me to come for an audition, which I was really excited about. And obviously I got it, and the rest is history, really. But yeah, it's not like I just literally put the profile up one day and it happened. A lot of work went into it, obviously, as you can imagine. And I'd been writing for a while. I've been doing various shows and putting my videos up, and my all the things that I'm doing to build my portfolio. And I like to speak positive affirmations and pray over myself and over my life. And it was, I'd been praying and waiting for an opportunity like that to come along. So when it did come, I was really excited. I wasn't surprised because I knew that something was going to come, because I've been taking the time to speak that into my life. But then, so when it came, I was really excited and really grateful. And, you know, I am really humbled by it, because, you know, there's lots of artists out there and creative people out there waiting for the opportunity to just do what they do best and love. And I just feel really honoured that, you know, I had that opportunity to sing with Soul to Soul and meet Jazzy B and Karen Wheeler and
she's such a great talent, isn't she?
Yeah, and she's such a lovely woman. She's just such a beautiful person, and really, you know, really it's really encouraging, because literally I'd all been working together for years, and I just come in and just done it, and it was really good.
Well, Soul to Soul was a group from my day, back when I was a teenager, and I loved their music, and I was well impressed when you told me that you'd been backup singer for Soul to Soul, because they had been doing some dates in London. I'm not sure if they're doing more dates or not, but they've been coming back on the scene. So guys, we're going to just take a quick break. We're going to play another one of your tracks, and then we're going to come back, and maybe you can go backwards in time and tell us the story. Both you and Joseph, tell us you know, let's talk more about where you were and how you got to where you are, because I think there's a lot of people out there, there's a lot of creative people out there, and a lot of these kids that are being born right now, and then I say kids, I don't know if anybody has been watching Got to Dance on Sky One, but if you ever see that show, that's a dance show, the talent that is coming out of that show, and we're talking about 8, 9, 10-year-olds, 11, all self-taught dancers doing things that adults can only dream of, and that's in the dance world. So there's a lot of young creative types being born onto this planet right now. So you know, you guys, both you and Joseph, are a great inspiration to these people. So I really want to get your story. So this next song is called Falling, and we'll give it a play, and when we come back, we'll pick up our conversation. Okay?
Brilliant. Thanks.
I'm flying high, but I got a feeling I'm falling for nobody else but you. I got a feeling I'm floating, catch me, I'm falling. You got me wide open, it's hard to stay away, something keeps calling. Scared to make the same mistakes twice, afraid to make haste. Slowly I'm rolling, little baby steps I'm crawling, taking it easy, trying to get to know you, beautiful, not in the physical, true. Even though the thought did cross my mind, but I've learned from the past that something like sex at the wrong time can turn a friendship into something real nasty. Oh my dear, I like what we have, it is so lovely. Wouldn't want to mess it up and turn it into something really ugly. But I got a feeling I'm falling for nobody else but you. I'm flying high, but I got a feeling I'm falling for nobody else but you. Working real hard, saving up the pennies, so me and you, my dear, we can build a home and a family. I'm content at the blissful thought of coming back home to you each and every other single day. You got me feeling brand new, yes, I'm a new man. Me and you, my dear, we're one and the same. Allow me to break down a woman's worth. From Adam's right rib a woman came, and not from man's foot, so to be labeled inferior, nor from man's head to be labeled superior, but from his side, so you and me, love can be equal. Under man's arms, so I can protect you. Next to the heart, so you can be loved. Understand where I'm coming from. This is real talk, my dear, and I'm really gone. Walking the stilts, floating on cloud 9. Flying high, but I got a feeling I'm falling for nobody else but you. I'm flying high, but I got a feeling I'm falling for nobody else but you.
Peterborough FM, one station, many communities.
Welcome back to Esoteric Discussions with me, your host. I am Valentine St. Aubin. I'm here every other Wednesday evening from 9 p.m. here on Peterborough FM. And my guest tonight is Tashara, Forrest, and Joseph Chaganiza. I love saying that. It just has such a... I find it kind of difficult, but it has a nice roll on the tongue. Am I saying it correctly, Joseph?
Yeah, close.
Kind of. Say it for me.
Chaganiza.
Chaganiza. I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
Right, so we were listening to another one of your tracks called Falling. Kind of like that one. It had an old kind of ragtime kind of sound. Yeah. And you have a connection with ragtime, don't you?
Yeah, basically, I'm in charge or CEO, if you like to put it that way, of independent label called Ragtime, which is based up in London, basically, and we're just dedicating ourselves to making music that's like that's meaningful, basically, and that's the whole ethos behind the label, like taking it old school, but just bringing something new to the table instead of the norm, like right now, with what's currently coming out, basically. I mean, there's a lot of good, like you said, there's a lot of talent out there, but I think some of it needs to be cultivated, or probably just me growing old.
Growing old.
Yeah.
Have you hit 30 yet? I have to ask that one. Have you hit 30 yet?
This year, yeah.
This year, okay, yeah. Well, that actually puts me on to my next question very well, because you're just saying old school there, and you know, I was doing something a couple of weeks back, and I was around these teenagers, and you know, they hadn't even heard of house music. And I felt so old.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't even know if they even know the term hip hop. I mean, would they?
No, I don't think so. I think hip hop, real hip hop. No, I can't say real hip hop, but I'm just saying, because that's the thing. It's quite debatable here, because I think with time, things are always evolving. Music is always evolving. So, you know, it's just like when I was growing up, there were some people going like, this is not real music. You know, back in the day we had real music, and that's when I was growing up. So I think that's what's happening now. But I think what's safe to say is, like, I'm used to that, what I grew up listening to, which I felt was more and more feel to it. You know, I grew up listening to people like Gangsta Guru, you know, Tribe Called Quest.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever get into Public Enemy?
Yeah, Public Enemy. All those, I listened to that. You know, Run DMC's when they came on. Percy P. All those, you know, all those artists that people, you know, you ask here, like you said, oh, you know this artist, and they look at me like, nah, and you know, they're like telling me, oh, I'm old school, Lil Wayne, or
yeah,
you know,
Lil Wayne is not old school.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's the old school, you know. So yeah, so that's what happens most of the time. So I was just like, yeah, so that, like I said, bringing back to label was just a way of bringing back that kind of like feel, that old school feel, you know, and being like relevant to what's happening, but just kicking it like how they done it, like, you know, when I was listening to hip hop when I was growing up, basically. So yeah, that's the whole thing with Ragtime.
That's excellent. And I just have to slip this in there. I mean, you're 29, you're going to be 30 this year, and you're actually right in the peak. You're in your Saturn return, and it's a term that people hear about because it's a very important cycle in one's life, the Saturn return. It is the time when we as individuals become an adult. Most people think we become an adult when we're 21. We actually become an adult when we hit about 28, between the years of 28 to 30. And between those years are the most difficult years that we will experience up until that point in our lives, because life just explodes in terms of your wants, your needs, your desires, what you would like to do, what you can't do, the restrictions around you, and it forces you to find yourself chaotically, actually. And it's not an easy cycle to go through. Have you found that, would you say that's rung true for you in any kind of way? I mean, you know, you say you're 29, you're going to be 30 this year. Yeah,
you know what, you put it that way. Yeah, it is actually kind of like that, but I didn't have the right term as you put it. But yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, it is a transition at the moment, and yeah, it's very interesting. I mean, but I think I've been always kind of lucky in a sense, because growing up, I always hanged around with like people who are actually older than me, so you know, I kind of like grew up a bit quicker than the rest of my peers, if I should say so. So that kind of helped. But yeah, there's still a bit of a change. Like the transition is still happening.
Oh yeah, so, you're not finished yet. It actually won't finish until you're about 31. That's when you'll be able to look back when you hit about 31, 32, to be honest, and you're going to go, oh. That's what that was about.
Yeah.
But the bad news is, Joseph, that that you're going to have to do it all over again when you hit 40. So I'm warning you now.
Yeah. I just want it to happen as quick as it can. But
for people listening, the great thing about turning 30 is this is the time that people usually will find that person who they want to be with. Many people get married during these years. Many people have babies as well. Many people start their own businesses. It's a great time to become self-employed. So, you know, definitely keep at what you're doing. You know, just stick with it. Stick with the dark and the light, and you definitely will get there, because I can see great talent there. So you're on the right path. Now, Tashara, I want to bring you back.
Hey.
We've got another track that we'd like to squeeze in, because we have one last one to sort of wrap it up with, and time is becoming our enemy. This is Take It Easy. Is that correct? Is that the next one you'd like me to play? Take It Easy? Yeah,
I'd love you to play that.
Okay.
It's a nice acoustic version that we did, and it's similar to what will be released as a single, but it's got a nice little twist on it, because Joseph's got a nice rap on it. So you'll hear that now if you want to play it.
Okay, so we're going to play that, and then I'm just going to quickly just have a nice chat with you as well as to your, you know, where you've been and how you have gotten to where you are now. So we definitely want to get time to hear what you have to say on that one. Okay. So we're going to play the track. This is Tashara, Forrest. This is Take It Easy.
Live and direct. One time for your mind. Here we go, yo.
One day I was thinking out loud, thinking, why does this thing called life have to be so hard? So many complications and different situations compounded into one big mess. But through it all, if we could just hold on with it, make it through, yeah. Through it all, if we could just hold on, we will make it through. Make it through, so take it easy, yeah. Take it easy, yeah. Take it easy, yeah. Just take one day at a time. I said, one day I was thinking, sitting here pondering, thinking, how do these people seem to hold it together? Cause I know that some are hurting and silently battling, but on the surface you'd never know. But through it all, if we could just hold on, we will make it through, yeah. And through it all, if we could just hold on, we will make it through. Make it through, so take it easy, yeah. Take it easy, yeah. Take it easy, yeah. Take it easy, yeah. 'Cause I know, I know, I know, I know, I know. It's tough right now. Say, I know, I know, I know, I know, I know. But if you just hold on, you keep holding on.
Hey yo, take life easy, even though life may be busy. Don't feel this, mate, it's gonna be okay. Tomorrow is a new day, have a laugh, go play. Even though things are going your way, take life easy in this river cold life. Till it can go gently. Say what? Let the current flow gently. Wait.
Take it
Right, so that was Tashara Forrest with Take It Easy. Lovely, lovely song. Nicely produced as well, I have to say, guys. Yeah. So, we've got a little bit of time left here, Tashara. Would you like to just... Because, the last time that we spoke, you had been going through a very difficult time, like many people have been. Your whole life basically crumbled, didn't it? Right underneath your feet.
Yeah.
And you have really picked yourself up and found direction. So if there's some words of comfort for those that might be going through something like that, what would you say to them?
I think that for me, when I literally hit rock bottom, and I don't mind sharing that, like, I lost my mum. It was a big shock to me, and wasn't expecting that. And then, so I was grieving that, and then I got made redundant from my job. Then I had to move home. And it was just like, I fell out with a lot of people, and it was like everything that I knew and everything that I thought was my life just literally got torn apart within 6 months to a year of each other. And like, there was a time where I just felt like I didn't know whether I was coming or going, and it's just to sit down and looking blank out into the sky, just not knowing what to do with myself. And, I feel like at that point, it was like there was a turning point for me. And I remember waking up in the night one night and just walking down the stairs and just feeling like I was walking into another realm. It was almost like another part of myself like came forward.
That's the awakening. Yeah.
It was like my real self woke up. I literally woke up and I was like, whoa, like, what am I doing? Like, but it was exciting because I felt like for the first time in my life I actually was about to start living. And I made a conscious decision that from now on, I'm only going to do the things that I want to do. And it can be quite hard to do that because I've had to make a lot of sacrifices, And
absolutely.
Yeah, like I said, I've moved. I share a house now with a couple of housemates and so on. But I'm happier now than I was when I was living on my own and holding down a full-time job and trying to cram things into my life. So I literally decided, what? For me to live this life, I have to be real and honest with myself and choose what it is I want to do with my time and spend my days doing. Because life is short. When you lose your mother or somebody that's close to you, you realise that life is short and that you just need to just spend the rest of your time here on earth doing the things that you want to do. And you make the sacrifices and you make decisions that's going to help you to do those things that's going to make you happy here. So that's what I'd say really. It's like, you've got to do some soul searching. You've got to allow your real self and your real emotions and feelings and thoughts and so on to come out and acknowledge them and be truthful and honest and start making some decisions little by little, step by step, one day at a time, as I said in my song. I wrote that just after my mum passed away and I was deep in grief, but that song just jumped out of me and just encouraged me, and every time I sing it people just weep, because there's there's something in that song that just, I guess, speaks to the core of somebody. And it's literally like, we've got all these pressures and hard times and so on that, the world puts on us, that you have to do this and you can't do that and you've got to be like this and you've got to be like that, and you don't have to do anything. You just got to just do what, what's right for you. And when you sort of allow yourself to do that, it's this massive burden just lifts and life's just so much simpler. It has been for me anyway. So
yeah, that is. Thank you so much for sharing that, and it's a great way to end this interview tonight. And I hope that those that were listening tonight can take something from this and use it in a positive way. Yes, life is very difficult for so many of us right now, but it's during these times that we have to realign ourselves. And as you're saying, it's not easy at all, but it can be done. So I want to thank you, Tashara, and you also, Joseph, for joining me tonight here on the show. Would you be willing to play a song for us as we fade out and bring on the next guys? The flip side will be coming on after me next from 10 o'clock. And we're going to wrap up the show from here, okay? So if you guys liked what you heard, please do check out the websites. It's SharonAngelicaMusic.com and JosephChaganiza.com. Check them out. And until the week after next, guys, I will see you. So keep your eyes on the stars.
throne, Heavenly Father, to worship and adore who you are. Your never failing love overwhelms me. Growing close to you, going deeper into you, your holy presence, so pure and true. So let the sacrifice of praise continually be in my mouth, 'cause you're worthy. So let the sacrifice of praise continually be in my mouth, 'cause you're worthy. Nothing else compares to your glory. So tender mercies new every day. Your loving arms surround and protect me. I'm so in love with you. None compares to you. Your holy presence, so pure and true. So let the sacrifice of praise continually be in my mouth, 'cause you're worthy. So let the sacrifice continually be in my mouth, 'cause you're worthy. So let the sacrifice of praise continually be in my mouth, 'cause you're worthy.
Peterborough FM, one station, many communities.